Building examples of your work, which is what we were talking about before, and those case studies is really important. So you can bring them up in conversation, you can use them in your interviews, you can use them in your resumes. Look for, media and press opportunities. So has anyone heard of SourceBottle? So sourcebottle.com.au is a really great thing that you can freely subscribe to that sends through regular updates on a whole lot of journalists around Australia who are looking for talent for certain stories that they're doing. Obviously you have to be checking with your organisations that you work with before any of that happens, but you may find a great PR opportunity and you take it to their PR department and you say, you know, I wouldn't mind being the person interviewed, and that could create a great opportunity for you. Yeah? They do send out a lot of information, so you might have to just filter it a bit. Enter awards. So all those people who are the Boss Young Execs of the Year at the moment obviously had to enter the awards in the first place, find out about them, but now they're gaining all sorts of great opportunities through doing that. Volunteering is another great way, and I know there's a lot of people, including Amy, who volunteer their time, that's then led to a whole lot of opportunities for their personal brand. Even industry committees are really great. Make sure you update your resume regularly. And a lot of people actually suggest to have a professional headshot done. So instead of the funny one that you've got on LinkedIn at the moment or something, or the one that you took with the webcam, where you're like, whoa, it might be good to get a professional headshot. It all depends on where you want to be going, who you want to be noticed by. If you think that that's going to be important for that, then getting it done is good. Be active in meetings. So even in meetings, you want people experiencing your personal brand. So that means actually sitting forward on your seat at the meetings, not back. It means contributing in the meeting. It means asking questions in the meeting and commenting, but always making sure they're good questions and good comments, not just a chance to listen to your voice. But they say that that's a really important way to get remembered. Otherwise you were just there and people can't even tell that you were there. Write articles. So you might have a newsletter for your organisation, you might have, and then there's all sorts of industry ones as well that's looking for content. Write articles about today, coming here, whatever it might be. You get your name out there. Again, with a Google search, if you've written an article for something and then the company Google searches you, your article comes up. That's a pretty good impression. Read widely and share and comment. So I only had to pick up, a BRW the other day to learn all about where PwC, Ernst & Young, KPMG are moving into some of the emerging countries. Can anyone tell me some of the countries they're moving into? You'll be quite remarkable if you can. A whole room full of people.
Mongolia?
Yes! Well done. So Mongolia is a big area. Yep. Some of the African countries as well are big too. So if you sort of think to yourself, they're emerging countries, quite particular in their cultural experience and needs, maybe I'll start learning all about those countries and become an expert in some of that stuff. And that makes me a whole lot very interesting for that sort of organisation going into those countries. So I only had to pick up one BRW to learn that. I'm not a CPA, I'm not in your industry. And then having authentic touch points with your networks, because you can't just make a whole lot of friends, yes, accept on LinkedIn, accept on Facebook, and then just sort of sit there and think, oh, now people will find me. It's all good. You actually also want to have authentic touch points. So just yesterday, someone emailed me asking for a testimonial to put onto their LinkedIn. And then I got a great email from another friend who lives in the UK who just sent through a little fun one-page document of the types of things he's been working on and the projects and the countries. And it was a great read, a really interesting read, but actually told me a whole lot about him and what he can do. So for him, I then go, oh, I should pass this on to so-and-so because he'd be a good person to speak with. Share the praise. So make sure, this is an honesty thing as well. Something I care about quite a bit is making sure that if other people contributed to a certain success, make sure you share that praise as well. Yeah, because that actually says a lot about you as a person too and your brand values. Little drop-ins with your managers or supervisors are really good too. What am I doing? What am I up to? What are you doing? etc. It doesn't have to be the formal review points only that you go and talk to them about that sort of stuff. Take to them in the BRW article and go, wow, this is really interesting. What are we doing about it? Or who could I talk to in the organisation that could help me learn a little bit more? There's a whole lot of personality tests out there if you want to learn more about yourself that you can then use within your interviews, within your resumes, etc. There's the DISC profiles, there's the Myers-Briggs, all sorts. Yep. And some even suggest writing your brand story. So where did your passions come from? Whether that's, and you have that on your website, but also you can have it on your Facebook profile, you can have it in your LinkedIn profile, where people who actually want to learn a little bit more about you and where that passion has come from, or where those core values have come from, they can hear that story. So we come back to that point. Now there's lots of different ways you can be doing there. And don't worry, I'm not doing every single one of those, because then that's all I would do. That would have to be my job full time. So you find the ones that work for you. You find the ones that fit in authentically with who you are and your day and your jobs and what you want. If you're hardcore and you want to get to where you want to go, you're going to push the buttons on some of those really hardcore ones. You're going to present, you're going to write articles, you're going to get media releases and press coverage, etc. We all know people who do that, and it does get you far if that's what you want to do. But you may feel for the type of career goals that you have, doing your LinkedIn profile, keeping up with some of your sharing and commenting, going to events, joining committees, maybe more your style. But it is about making sure that you're clear on who you are, you're customizing your message, you're doing it consistently and constantly.